Hi guys, it's Shani from Crafts, Names, and Things. So I'm so excited today. I want to show you how to make glue binded notebooks or journals. Actually, this is going to be a beautiful journal just with a glue binding. Sorry. So I'm just going to show you how simple it is to make these little journals. This is the one that we'll be working on at first, but I'm going to kind of show you all the steps so you know how to do it. But it has a glue binding, so all the pages are stuck together. Look at that. So it works quite well, actually. Alrighty. And you can just flip through. And this is just a quick and easy way to make a really beautiful journal. And it actually uses recycled book pages. So it's quite beautiful, quite elegant, and like I said, very simple. And it doesn't require any cutting. You do have to cut the cover if you want to cover, but that's it. All you do is paint the pages and fold it over and make a glue binding. So it's simple. It's really, really easy for someone who's just getting started in journaling. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Okay, so let's get started. So first I'm going to show you how to actually paint the pages. So I'm just going to move this stuff out of the way. And it's kind of a long supply list, so I'll just kind of go through and just kind of tell you as we go what we're going to use. So here I just have some metallic gold paint, and then I have just some white craft paint, and it's just stuff that you just get at, at your craft store. Very, very simple. And I forgot to grab a book, which is kind of necessary for this tutorial. Okay, so here's the book. This is one that I like to use a lot, but this one is from a different book. But I just want to show you the technique. So all you're going to do is you just need to get kind of clean pages out. So just grab your book and very, very gently just take it apart. That's all you do. Okay, and then like I said, you're going to just separate the sheets. Now, I want my book to be the size of my sheets. I don't have to worry about cutting or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is, because the writing's going this way, I'm actually going to paint this page, okay? So I'm going to show you the technique that I use. So all you do is grab a sponge brush, a soft one, which I should have here somewhere. This one's hard. I use it for like Mod Podge. Just had one. Well, I might have to use, oh, here it is. Okay, so you're just going to grab that, and all you do is you take your white paint, and I recommend you kind of have two brushes for this. A sponge brush, and then you kind of want a detailed brush too, so maybe we'll use this one. Or let me kind of go through my paintbrushes and see. Or we could even use something like this. Okay, and that's just kind of to add the gold. But I really like to use my finger, so that's probably what I'll be doing. But all you're going to do is just apply white paint. You have to do both sides, so I'll just show you the first technique. And you can make the writing as translucent as you want, so you can do multiple layers of white paint if you really don't want that much writing showing. I really like the effect of the writing showing. Let me show you. So you can kind of see it showing through, but I really like that effect. I think it just adds something to the journal or book, whichever you prefer to call it. But you'll just add just a little bit more paint. This is a little tedious. It does take time, so just kind of keep that in mind. And I'm just going to go ahead and do the whole page. This page that I'm working on is more weathered or yellowed because it's an older book. It's actually really old. I think it was like the 1930s. So just kind of keep that in mind. So it's going to have a slightly different color to it, but this is a newer book, so it had really white pages, which is fine too. So either one, it's your preference. And I don't really cover everything. Like this looks perfect to me right here. And it's okay if the pages rip a little bit. I think it adds character to the books, okay? So now for your gold. what you're going to do is, I actually like to grab a sponge. And I like using these makeup sponges for everything. So you'll just grab a little sponge and you're just going to apply just a little bit. It doesn't take that much. You can do it with whatever shade of gold you want. So you're going to kind of, in your mind, kind of divide the sheet in half, just like I did here, and you're going to do the edges. So just kind of apply some paint in the middle and then down the edges, okay? And I just like the effect that it gives. And you can add more paint if you'd like. Just kind of spread it around. But it just kind of gives a little something with the metallic paint to your pages. So I really like the look of it. Okay, and you can add as much gold or as little as you want. Sometimes I like to really plaster it on, and sometimes I just kind of do it subtly. So it's your preference of what you like. And then I just kind of paint on my thing, because then you have a beautiful scrap paper that you can use for all sorts of stuff. I use it for journals, for collaging, for all sorts of stuff. So, okay, so you'll just allow that to dry, and then you'll flip it over and do the other side too. Okay, so I'm just going to put that aside. Okay, so now let's get to the glue binding part. So once you have as many sheets as you want, so these are the sheets that I made before, you're just going to fold them in half. Grab a seat here so I can do this. And you are going to need some tacky glue for that. And actually, I need a stem for my book. So what I like to do is I'm just going to take my gold paint, okay, and just with the same white brush that I used, okay, I'm just going to kind of paint a binding. So I kind of like it kind of opaque, so I don't really care about the white. Okay, but I'm just going to paint this down. Okay, so this is just a piece of art paper, just a piece of junk basically. And if this had more gold in it, then I would absolutely just use my scraps from that. And I have one sheet that I made that's really beautiful, but I finally ran out of that scrap piece that I used for the bindings for these little journals. So all you're going to do is just paint it very, very easily and quickly, okay? And then we're just going to allow that to dry, and we'll just put our book together while we wait. Okay, so we'll just kind of fold everything down and get that together. And kind of, that's the great thing about acrylic paint, is that it doesn't take that long to dry. So this should be dry in a few minutes, okay? But it just looks really pretty. Has a lot of character, and as I said, always use your brush just make sure that you get as much paint out of your brush as you can. Especially these foam brushes. They're like, they had so much paint. It's kind of crazy. Okay, and you're just going to kind of stamp it down. So I'm going to put that aside also. Okay. And I'm just going to paint that down. Okay. And sometimes I even get my fingers in there just to squeeze out all the paint. But I'm kind of a messy painter, so I don't mind getting my hands dirty. That's why I never get my nails. That's why I never paint my nails. I get them done, but the polish comes off very quickly, as you can see. Okay, so I'm just going to stick that into our board, into our thing there. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my board, my plastic board here that I use for all sorts of things. I get these from the dollar store. They're really good for everything, for duct tape, for painting, for just, I just use them basically for everything. Okay. Alrighty, but this is still kind of wet, so I'm going to protect my surface of my books. Okay. So all you're going to do is you just fold these in half. Okay. So there's two that I did already. So you'll just take this, just take your sheet, just measure it, and then you're just going to create a nice seal. So if you wanted to, you could absolutely use a bone folder. And I'm just totally using a bone folder for your benefit, because normally I just want to get to work, so I just wouldn't use it. So, but for you, I'm going to use it. So you're just going to take it. And I really concentrated on the book pages numbers, like when I was painting this, just to kind of cover those up. But like I said, it adds character. I mean, these pages look so beautiful once you're done. Okay, so you're just going to fold as many pages as you want in half. Okay, just like that. They don't have to be perfectly even. I think that's okay. But you guys know that I'm not a perfectionist when it comes to making journals or paper crafts. I just think that things should be fun, and I like things that you can tell that they're homemade. Okay. Because you can totally go to, you know, to the craft store and like just buy something that's perfect, you know, and that's manufactured. But and this one I ran out of white paint, so I just did white, antique white, and it turned out really good too. So just do as many pages as you want. I think I'm going to stop there. I do have enough for another book too. So I'm going to do, I think that probably 6 pages is enough, or 6 folded pages. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, but you can do as many pages as you like. Okay, but I think that's a good size for someone that's starting out. Okay. And sometimes I like to kind of peek and see like which one I want on top, because that part is going to be covered. So probably I'll use this one because it doesn't have a lot of paint on it. Okay. Okay. Alrighty, so we're just going to smash that down. So now for the binding, which is my favorite part. I love this part, and it's so simple and so easy to do. We're going to grab our piece of paper that we made, the little scrap piece, okay? And we're just going to roughly measure how tall it is. Okay. And this is so easy because, so you're just going to go about 1 inch over. Right? And you know what? Let me bring you in so you can see even better what I'm doing. Let's do it close. Let's do some close-ups here. There we go. Okay, so, and that way you can see a lot more detail too on the pages. So that's the way the pages look. So all I'm going to do is just kind of take one of these and just line it up, and I'm going about 1.5 inches over, okay? And then if you wanted to, you could just cut this, or you can tear it. It's your preference. I usually prefer to tear, but I have my scissors here, so I think that I'm just going to cut. But the tearing looks really beautiful too. Okay, so you can just kind of take it. I need to go about 1/2 inch up. Okay, and this is going to be our binding. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so for this next step, I recommend that you use tacky glue. That's what I use. It works very, very well when you're making notebooks that have glue spines. It's just a wonderful glue. But I love like everything's from Eileen's. I mean, nothing that I've ever used from that company has disappointed me. So, I mean, I use everything from them. So you're just going to squeeze some glue down. And I mean, you want it on pretty thick. And again, I'm being nice for the camera because most of the time I would just take the lid off, because take the cap off, because I have no patience. Actually, that's probably what I'm going to do right now. Okay. Oh, I can't even get it off. Oh my gosh. There must be a mess in there. Okay. So I can just kind of take this, and hopefully this isn't dried out. And you know what? I opened a bottle of my Mod Podge, and I had it for a while, and I guess I need to start using it more often, because I tend to hoard Mod Podge, you know, because it's so expensive, and I use like white glue whenever I can, of course, but it totally dried out. So good lesson for me, like not to hoard things, to actually use them. Okay, because I use white glue. You know, I save my Mod Podge for the really special stuff. So you're just going to take it, and I use my finger. You can absolutely use a brush, because I'm that kind of crafter. I like getting my hands dirty. I don't mind at all. It's okay if you get it on the flip side, okay, because it's going to dry clear. No worries, okay? So it's fully coated with glue, okay? So that's what you want. You want it really thick with glue, okay? Very good. So you're going to take these, and if you wanted to, you could use clips. I think I have some here. So you can just take a couple clips, couple paper clips. I just put these on a basket that I use to organize my supply somewhat. Okay, and you're just going to put them in the middle just to make sure everything's straight. Okay, so it's all lined up really nicely. Okay, and then I'm just going to take this, I'm going to kind of center it. Okay, just like that. Okay, and then I'm even going to go a little further, and I'm going to put a bead of glue. Okay, so I'm going to put a bead of glue. Let me kind of put this down. And this is a good thing about working with tacky glue, is you don't have to worry about it drying. And you're actually going to just apply a little bit right to the spine there. Okay, so right over there, you can really see what I'm doing over there. Just going to apply some glue just to reinforce it even more. And you'll take this, okay, and you're just going to push it over, just like that. Okay, alrighty, and then you can kind of put it down, and with your hands, you're going to just push everything down. Make sure you get that spine really well. Kind of move that glue out if you can. Okay, and then you'll turn it over and do the exact same thing. Okay, and it's going to be a little wrinkled on the side, but that's what gives it character. This is really kind of a beautiful kind of vintage look. And we're going to embellish it beautifully. Okay, so that's what you get here. Now, right away, you're going to cut off the excess, okay, because you don't want that to dry on you. So right here, this is where the book ends. I'm going to cut off that excess, okay, so that I don't have to worry about it being glued together and not opening, okay. So I can just take that, and then I'm going to do it for up here too. Now you're going to let that dry. Usually let mine dry for a couple hours, okay, or I'll do this step before. Okay, and then I can see that that flap is not going to cooperate, so I can just, it needs an additional glue. So I'm just going to take my glue, and I can just glue that down. And once it dries, I can trim it even more. Okay, alrighty, but I can just turn it over and just give it a trim. Okay, alrighty. And make sure that you don't let too much come from the bottom, because you don't want to glue the pages together. That would not be cool. Okay, so kind of just be cognizant of that. Make sure that you don't go too crazy with the glue. Okay. Okay, so kind of make sure that the pages will still separate. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so that's what we have. So I'm just going to allow this one to dry, and we're going to work on the other one that I showed you before. Okay, so now we're going to make a cover. Okay, guys, so all I did was I tucked just an old pizza box, because I save all my packaging, and I just cut it down. Now for the covers, so this is the front cover and the back cover. Okay, so I just measured and cut it down to size. Okay, so that's all you're going to do. So now we need to cover the covers. Now I found these beautiful napkins at the dollar store. They're very, very pretty, so this is what I'm going to use for my covers. But they have 2 layers. They're 2-ply napkins, so I do recommend that you separate them. So all you do to separate is just get your fingers just a little bit wet, okay, and kind of do it in multiple places, or even a mini spray bottle works very well for this. That's normally what I use. Okay, and then very gently you'll just pull them apart. Okay, so that way you only have 1 ply. Okay, and then very, very slowly you just take them apart. Okay, I mean very, very gently. Okay, so see, I'm just pulling it apart just like that. Okay, until you only have 1 ply. And just take it slow and do it gently, otherwise you'll rip your napkins. Okay, so I have some Collage Podge here. Okay, ready? And I have my 2 covers here. Okay, and this one I gessoed a little bit just to cover it up. So But I think actually I'm going to turn it over, okay? Alrighty. And I'm going to take my brush, my foam brush, which is on the floor where it's not supposed to be, and I'm going to take some Collage Podge, okay? Or you can use Mod Podge, you could even use white glue for this, and I'm going to put just a tiny bit down, okay? And I'm going to brush it on, just like that. Just very, very simple and easy. You kind of want a thick coating, but I just love making these journals. They're really pretty, and like I said, they're the easiest journals that you can actually make. Okay, this one will just kind of spread out a little bit too. I am working on my little board that I use from the dollar store. Okay, alright. Okay, and I'm going to put this one. This is going to be my cover, so it has really pretty butterflies and flowers and some French writing, so that's what I'm going to use for the cover. Okay, and I'm going to take that and very, very gently I am going to kind of rub it in. Now this will have wrinkles, but I really like that effect. I think it makes it look aged and beautiful. If you don't like that, then you could absolutely use some type of like Mod Podge roller just to roll out the wrinkles, but I really like that effect. Okay, so you can just take this and kind of refresh that a bit. Okay, just like that. And this one's going to be kind of a piece together more. Okay, so we'll just kind of put the flower as our kind of focal point there. Okay, and we'll smooth that out. Okay, and then I can just take my scissors and I can cut out just pieces. Maybe a little bit of the Eiffel Tower. Okay, and since this is the back cover, I'm not really worried about how perfect this side looks. I really want to focus on the front. Okay, so I can just squeeze a little bit of my Collage Podge out, a little bit more. Okay, and I'm just going to apply a little bit on those edges there. Okay, and I can apply whichever piece I want. And kind of just build it up. I'm going to go just a little bit into that design too. Okay, just like that. Okay, and I'm going to smooth that out, just like that. Okay. Okay. And on this side, I'm not too worried about because it's going to be covered with lace. Okay. And I'll show you. The fun part is going to be embellishing this baby. Okay. So actually, I think I'll use this piece here so I can just put it right on the end. Okay. Alrighty. So, oops. And if you happen to rip it like I just did, you can just, that's the great thing about decoupaging that I love, is you can just take a piece and just apply it on there. Just like that. Okay. Alrighty. So, after we do that, we are going to, right away actually, we're going to put some of our Collage Podge on top. Okay, so I'll just squeeze a little bit out. Okay, and I am very gently, with my foam brush, going to apply some on top. Okay, and what that will do is it's going to seal in our covers. Because if I just did this with paper, it wouldn't be sealed so well. So that's why I like using Collage Podge. It's water resistant in case something ever happens to my journal. And it just looks so pretty when it's done. Okay, so just kind of take that. So kind of get those creases first. Okay, so see there's a crease there, so I'm getting that first and then I'll bring it out. Alrighty. And just kind of dot it. Be very, very gentle. And it doesn't take much actually. Okay, and just make sure you get those edges just like that. Okay, just like that. Okay, so that's how it looks, and it's going to dry clear, so don't worry. And this is matte. You could also use glossy if you want a little gloss in your life. Okay, we're just going to very gently just cover this up, and we're going to allow that to dry, and then we'll come back and we will complete the rest of our journal. So we get to do the fun part with embellishing. So to embellish, I'm going to use some lace, and I found these really cool stickers at Michael's, so I'm going to use those. Looks like I need a little bit of glue on the edge there, so I can just kind of lift that up. And the good thing about napkins is that the glue will seep through too, so it should get a really nice kind of finish. Okay. Ready? On my other side's coming up a little bit, so I'm just going to get that glued down a bit more. Okay, and then I'm just going to use my hands to kind of smooth everything out. Okay. Ready? So that's the way that that one looks. Okay, so we're just going to allow everything to dry, and then we're going to apply it to our book. Okay. Ready? So just let everything dry, and we'll be ready to go. So I'll see you
Okay
back
guys,
after
so
this
our
dries.
covers have dried. This is what they look like up close. Okay,
So now we're going to apply them. Okay, so this is going to be my front, this is going to be my back. Okay, so I am just going to take some, actually, you know what, I think that I will use some, what do I want to use? I think I'm going to use some decoupage, okay, some Collage Podge. So again, I'm going to take it, I'm going to lay it down. You can do it on your pages or on the cardboard. You could use glue for this part, you can kind of use whatever you like. Okay, and this is going to be my front. And all I did on the edges that stuck over, I just folded them over, just to give a nice clean look on the edges, okay? Because that's what I wanted to do. But you could absolutely just trim them off and that would work too, okay? But I just want to apply a little bit on here too, okay? And just make sure that it's fully covered. So go around your sides, everything, okay? Even go into your spine a little bit, okay? So you're going to take it and you're going to apply it. Okay, so just start at that edge there. Okay. Make sure that it's scooted down the way that you like. Okay, just like that. Now if you wanted to, you could make it so that it goes flush up against here, but I'm going to cover this up anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to just put a little bit of the Collage Podge just right on there. You could absolutely use regular glue and it would work just fine too, but I'm going to use my Collage Podge. And don't be stingy with the glue because you want it to stay together, okay? So just kind of spread it on there, okay? Just like that, okay? If you get a little bit on the edges, just make sure you wipe that off. Alrighty, just like that, okay? And then I can take this, put some more down there too, right? Make sure that it's facing the right way, which it isn't, so I need to turn it around that way. That would be so cute to have a backward page, not so much, right? Okay, and I'm just going to bring it over so it kind of lines up with my other cover there. And I'm going to smooth it out, okay? And then I'm going to allow this to dry just for a few minutes. And I can even open my book, and I just want to make sure that that's on very, very well. Okay, so I'm just going to take that and just kind of smooth it out even more. Okay, just to make sure that it's adhered very, very well. Okay, okay, just like that. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry, and then we'll come back and we will embellish this. Okay, but already looks beautiful, doesn't it? It's all vintagey and beautiful. And we can open it and we can look at our pages. And imagine what you could do with such a beautiful book. And this is just a napkin, believe it or not. Okay, so you can kind of lift up the edges, make sure that it's down good. Okay, and then I have some excess Collage Podge on my brush, so I'm just going to go over it again. And again, be gentle. Don't be rough like I'm doing, but be very gentle. And you can do another coating of your Collage Podge right on top, just to seal it even more. Okay, just like that. And if it's coming up on the edge here, don't worry, because we're going to cover that up anyway. But just try to make sure that you put enough of your Collage Podge on there, or Mod Podge, or whatever decoupage medium that you're going to use. Or white glue works great too. You guys know that I love white glue. And if I could find mine, that's what I would use probably for most of this project. Okay. Alrighty. You can see that somehow this page got a little wacky, so it's sticking out a little bit. So I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim that off. Okay. And you guys know what kind of crafter you are. You know that I'm not perfect. I don't like everything to look all perfect. So if you want to do that, go for it. But okay. So I'm going to let this dry and then we're going to finish.
Okay guys, so I want to show you, this is how our book looks. Very pretty. So it turned out pretty great. Okay, so that's the way the cover looks in the back. So it's really quite beautiful. Now we get to do the fun part and we get to embellish it. So I'm going to use just some tacky glue. I can't find glue sticks. I think I'm out of them, so I'm going to use tacky glue. And then I found these this beautiful lace. There's a whole big bag of it at the thrift store, so I got it. And just a whole bunch of different kinds, so I'll show you more. And then I found these beautiful butterflies at Michael's. They were $1.50. And then this beautiful trim. And then I also have some rhinestones here too, so we're definitely going to use those also. Okay, so let's get started. So, and I have my scissors here. So what we're going to do first is we're going to apply the lace to our stem, or to our spine of our book. Okay, so I'm going to kind of just measure it out, kind of see where I want it to go. We'll kind of make a straight line here with my scissors. Okay. Alrighty. So I'm just going to apply some tacky glue. Tacky glue pretty much holds everything down, so this is what I use usually to apply my lace. So we're going to go right over to the edge, just like that. Okay. Oops. Tacky glue overboard. Okay, so we're going to apply this right to the front. Okay. And I let mine come off a little bit because I can just come back and trim it. Okay, and what that does is that kind of covers that spine a little bit, which is awesome. Okay, just makes a beautiful kind of effect. Okay, so next we'll do our beautiful, beautiful, let me bring this closer so you can see. Okay, see? Okay, oops. And try not to do that. Try to let your lace dry first before you move it. Okay, just like that. So it's going to take a little bit for it to dry. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to apply my beautiful little butterflies. Okay, but I think actually before I do that, I'm going to embellish. No, let's do the butterflies first. And I really love these butterflies because they have writing on them. So I think I'm going to use a medium-sized one. Okay. And I do want this to last a while, so I am going to apply, and they come like a sticker, I think. Actually, it looks like they don't.
That's weird. Okay, so I'm going to apply a glue dot. Oh, there they are. So I found these glue dots at the dollar store and they work very well. So I can just kind of see where I want that to go. That looks good to me, so I think I'm going to put it, maybe I'll put it up there. I think I'll do it there. Okay, so I'm going to take my glue dot, excuse me, and I'm sneezing up a storm. And how I use these is I just put on top of what I want. Okay, so I just will stick that right on where I want it to go. Then I'll just press down a little bit and then I'll just bring it off. Plus, I like to put just a dot of wet glue just because I want these to last. Okay, so then I can stick it on where I want it to go. Okay, so I can stick that down just like that. Okay, alrighty, and then I think I will apply some of this beautiful trim to the edge. Or maybe I'll do another butterfly. Looks like they already have blue dots on here, but for some reason they're sticking to the paper. Yeah, I think I'll put a little one. Can't decide if I want it there or there. I think I'll do it here. Okay, so I'm just going to do it just a little bit up. Okay, so we're going to take that. Okay, we're going to take that, we're going to stick it on there just like that. Okay, alrighty. Then we are going to apply our glue just like that. And we can stick it where we want. Okay. Ready? Okay. And then I don't know if I'm actually going to use this trim or not. It might be a little, it might do a little too much. Okay. Let's see. Which one am I going to use? That one's actually really pretty. I think it might be a little too much, maybe. Actually, I think what I'll do is, I'll take some of this, because I think that is really pretty, okay? And we're actually just going to apply it just there. I think that'll be pretty, just for a hint of something. Okay, so we're going to take that, it already has adhesive on it, and I'm just going to trim it down, just like that, okay? And then I am going to actually I don't have to reinforce anything. That stuff's not going anywhere. That's a great adhesive. Okay, and then I have my jewels here too, and if I wanted to, I could maybe do a line here too. It might be pretty. I'm looking in the camera to see if I like that. I don't think so. I think I like it like that, with just a hint of lace. So I think that's pretty. Okay, alright. I'm losing my sheet here. Oops, I don't want to put it on there. Okay, sorry, let me stick this down just for a second. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so then we have our rhinestones over here that you can see, okay? And these just are just ones that you buy at the store. They're just your basic ones. I have pearl ones, but I can't seem to find those, so we're going to use these instead, okay? But I just want to embellish a bit, so I'm going to kind of put them down and see kind of where I think they should go. I really like embellishing kind of the center of flowers with rhinestones. I think that looks really pretty. Let me bring you closer so you can see all this loveliness. Okay. So maybe I'll put one there maybe, and then I'll put one here. Okay. So that's where I'm going to stick mine on. And then I think that I'll embellish the butterfly a little bit too. So maybe on her wings we'll put a couple too. Just like that. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so actually I think, you know what, I don't really like the rhinestones all over the flowers. I think I'll just do them on 3. I think, and I like to put my embellishment down just like you would on a card. You know, you want even numbers or odd numbers of things, so that's what I'm thinking. And I kind of like things concentrated in one area, or things that flow. Okay, just like that. So I think I'll put that down there, just to kind of bring out those flowers a little bit so they look kind of 3D. And don't worry about your tacky glue because it will dry clear. Okay, so we can just kind of do that. Alrighty. Trying to think. Maybe I'll just, yeah, I think I'll just stick just one right there. Okay. And I think that it still needs a little something else. I'm trying to look and see. So I think I am going to use some of this just right on the edge here. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of take it over a little bit. Okay, and just kind of be careful because it is pretty sticky already. Okay, just take that. Alrighty. And I can just kind of lift this up a little bit. Okay, and kind of see where that ends, but they had so many beautiful colors that I loved of this like trim, and then of the butterflies too, which was really pretty. So okay, that one didn't quite make it on there, so I'm just gonna layer some on top. Okay, just like that. So I think that already looks better. So that looks really pretty. I love it a lot. Okay, so let me bring it in frame a little bit. I'm gonna light it out so much now, but we'll bring it back. Okay, so I think that looks a lot better already. Okay, and then I'm tempted to put some down here too. Which, you know what, I love, so I'm gonna just stick that down. Very good, and then we'll trim off that excess there. Okay. Okay. That is just lovely. Okay, so that's the way our cover looks. We'll just trim off this edge here. Okay, now if you wanted to, you could embellish the back, but I like the back as it is, and I'm going to leave it just like that. I will probably go in just with a little bit of tacky glue, because you see there how it's coming up. I'll do that right now actually, just to reinforce, to make sure that it stays down. Again, you just want to make sure that whatever you're doing is going to last. Okay, so I'll just reinforce that just with some tacky glue. Okay, and then I'll just set it up to dry. But look at how beautiful that is, and that's how you create a glue binding. So then you could just open it and you can go in and decorate your beautiful pages, and it just looks like a beautiful antique book. And it's just gorgeous. And these are so simple to make. They don't take any time at all. And you don't have to sew. You really don't have to do a lot of cutting at all. You kind of just go with the flow. And you can make a batch of these. You know, I would definitely make a ton of these at once. You know, so you always have them in progress. But I just wanted to show you a quick glue bound book. Little little journal. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, please let me know if something wasn't clear. And I'm sorry, hopefully I was in a frame the whole time so you could see what I was doing. And please like and subscribe. And if you know anyone that would like to see this, please be sure to share. Thanks.